Hey everybody, it's Beth. Welcome to Infinite Garden. This week's video is a viewer request. I was asked if I could share some of my handbags. I'm really happy to do that, and part of the reason why is because I actually have a lot to say about handbags. If I'm totally honest, it's by far my least favorite category in fashion. I'm absolutely not a lover of handbags. In almost every single case, I would prefer to carry no handbag at all and rely on pockets. But as a lot of us already know, most women's garments are not equipped with functional pockets, forcing us to carry luggage around with our daily essentials. And that luggage can be extremely expensive. I often personally feel as though I am being coerced into buying handbags. Given some of those negative feelings about bags, I do have 7 here that I have found to be a really great value and very useful to me. And then I also have 3 that I found that don't work for me, and I wanted to talk through why that is. If that sounds good to you, I hope you keep watching. The first item is not a bag, it is a wallet. This is a very small card case. I love this. One of the main reasons I love this is that for years I have been carrying a larger sort of clutch style wallet made by the brand Hobo, and they are too large to put in a pocket. They require a purse to go into. And with this little card case, now that I've streamlined and condensed down to just the items that will fit in here, I can actually slide this in a coat pocket with my keys, a lippy, and my phone, and I can sometimes get away with it not carrying a handbag at all. I have found I have entirely adapted to carrying the smaller card case, and I no longer feel like I need to carry a giant, fat, heavy wallet. This next item is a sleek but roughly finished black leather envelope. It has effectively no details. It does have a bit of a rough edge here, and it loosely holds together over this little brass button. The maker's mark says Steadfast. I actually bought this at an artisan little boutique in Chattanooga, Tennessee when I was out there for a business trip. What I like about this envelope is I can easily stick in my card case and my iPhone, and I can close this up and hit the door carrying only this. Maybe my keys, maybe a lippy, that type of thing. But I find that I'm most likely to use this particular bag if I'm going out for dinner where it's not too fancy. I've even brought this to the orchestra because it's large enough to hold the whole program. I also like this because it has no visible brand markings. It's unbranded, which is something I value in a handbag especially. I like that the leather is very thick and it gives off an overall handmade artisan feel. I get a ton of use out of this. And the act of learning how to get by on just an envelope with a couple of key items has been very freeing. I didn't used to value the envelope clutch as a purse style, but what I found I like about this when we do go out to restaurants is that, it's very common at a restaurant that you'll be wedged into a small table and maybe there isn't any additional room. If you both have chairs and there's no place to put your purse, you can slide this envelope often right just behind me, like between my back and the seat, and it fits there very well. Or sometimes if we're up against a wall, I can slide this between the wall and just the edge of the table. And worst case scenario, I can just comfortably leave it on my lap if I have to. I find this is actually very, very useful and I love it. I didn't expect I would like this that much, but it's turned out to be a staple in my wardrobe. I think I've had this at least 6 years. Last year, I added this very small Coach camera bag to my collection. I love the cream color of this bag. I find it very wearable all throughout the year. I like that it has both metal and leather details on the strap. It's easily worn as a crossbody. It just barely fits my iPhone and my card case. I can also get a set of keys in here and a lippy. And not much else at all, but I have found this to be an extremely useful bag if that's all I need to carry with me and I don't want to be encumbered with a giant bag. I think it looks casual, but still kind of nice and polished. It did come with one of those Coach hang tags, but I took that off and keep that in there. I find the classic Bonnie Cashin brass toggle closure to be plenty to identify this as a Coach product. Coach is kind of interesting for me because I really value the aesthetic of Coach as established by Bonnie Cashin in the 60s and through the 70s. I think Coach is an iconic American design house, and I like the brand best when its designs remember its origins. I like the idea of it being a camera bag. It's very nostalgic. I find this to be super wearable. I wore it all summer long. For a very fun kind of cocktaily, disco-y sort of vibe, I like this little metal gold chainmail bag with a little gold tassel. This has these circular hoops for handles, which means that I can carry this bag, maybe carry a beverage and shake somebody's hand without being totally encumbered. It's just large enough, you can see, to fit my iPhone. I could also cram my card case in here, but I would never actually do that. I would pull out the few cards that I needed, maybe an ID and a few credit cards, some cash, and that would go very nicely in here. There's a little small flap here for that, and then I'd pop a lipstick in here and I'd be good to go. This is something I bought at Nordstrom around prom time. This was definitely in the prom handbag space. It's by the brand Mina. I don't get a ton of use out of this because it's not very common for me to need this particular type of purse. It should be more common, honestly. But I do find that when I need this type of thing, this is my favorite bag to carry. I love gold, and I like that this is metal and kind of shiny without being too corny. This is a relatively small bag by Ferragamo. This is by far the fanciest bag in my collection. It has this wonderful chain strap. You can wear it long so that it hangs a little bit past your hip, or you can double up the chain so it's a little closer to the body. I love that it reads as luxurious, and yet it has a very discreet maker's mark here. This is not a heavily logoed bag, and I love its extremely uptight little leather bow. Just a little bit of feminine detailing, but nothing too extravagant. I find it very serious. It has a nice kind of locking clasp here that you squeeze this to release it. I like that it easily can hold my iPhone, a card case. I could put some hand sanitizer in there. I could put keys and lipstick, all types of things. It's a good bag. I bought this a few years ago when I realized that my handbag collection was completely missing something of this quality that I could pull down at a moment's notice that would always be correct if I were invited to a certain kind of more serious event that could go with maybe more businessy kind of evening dress and absolutely look the part that I would love year after year. This is the kind of bag that I expect to have for the rest of my life. I wrap it in tissue, I keep it in its dust bag, and I store it in the box that it came in. I baby this thing, and I expect to have this for years to come. I maybe wear this purse a few times a year, and if I take really good care of it, I shouldn't ever need to replace this bag. I just love it. This is the newest addition to my collection. I purchased this purse this fall. This is a black leather handbag by the brand Wandler, and this represents the culmination of more than 5 years of searching for the perfect medium-sized black handbag. As I said earlier in the video, one of the reasons that I don't really like handbags is that I sometimes feel as though I'm being coerced into buying them. I personally don't like to lead with logos. It's just my personal taste. I'm willing to wear something with a maker's mark on it, but if something is overtly and obviously covered in logos, I will generally pass on that. That's really just my taste. I know I'm in the minority there, but that's my personal preference. What I've been looking for years has been a very high quality bag with a cool, sleek look, and that wasn't priced beyond its value to me. I personally don't really value luxury logos, and the fact that those logos greatly inflate the price of the item is irritating to me. I don't know how else to say it. I don't like doing it, and I don't want to do it. And so I have struggled to find a bag that met my quality requirements but didn't push off into the territory where I felt like I was being extorted for a logo. After 5 years of actively searching for and rejecting black handbags, I saw this and almost immediately decided to buy it. Let me tell you why. I think the shape is beautiful. It folds on the side. You can kind of see there's some snaps there, and there's a flap back here. One of my favorite parts about this is the closure. Look at this. It's magnetic. It just very gently opens up and it's quite cavernous inside. I can easily put my iPhone and card case in here, and there's plenty of room to carry more. So this is an excellent bag for me to carry if I'm going to errands or even meetings where I might want to carry a small notebook and a pen. I live in a cold climate and I often will use sort of silk scarves, sometimes as layering pieces. And it's very easy for me just to throw one in here as well if that's part of what I'm doing. It's sculptural, but still plausibly a handbag. I like that I can carry it easily on my shoulder like this. It falls in really nicely on the side of my body. And the other thing I really love about this bag is that it's quite lightweight. When it's completely empty, it weighs next to nothing. That's something that's fantastic because once I start putting stuff in it, it becomes heavy and I really just don't want to carry around a heavy purse. I'm over it. I'm just absolutely over carrying a super heavy handbag. It's not good for my neck or back and I just don't enjoy it. I don't want to schlep stuff around if I don't have to. So I am super thrilled with this handbag. My expectation is that I should be able to carry this bag for the next 10 years. Because of its super tasteful style, I think I will like it for at least that long. I don't see myself getting tired of this bag. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the shoe brand Rothy's. They make those woven shoes out of recycled plastic material. Well, a couple of years ago, I don't remember when exactly, they started making bags. And I bought this bag as my work tote. I was in the market for a new work tote because I had been issued a new laptop and it was huge and very heavy. I found that the leather tote bag that I had been using before wasn't sturdy enough to bear the weight of my new laptop and I was worried I was going to ruin it. So enter this Rothy's bag. This comes in a couple of different colors, but I found the camel and black to be very well suited to my wardrobe. One of the best things about this bag is that it has a heavy-duty zipper closure. So if you are using this bag for anything, for travel or commuting or whatever, you can easily secure it. I think that's so good. I myself, every time I have to enter my workplace, I have to go through security and put my bag on a scanning conveyor belt. So I don't want one that hangs open where my items can come out. So I really value this zipper on the bag. I also like that it's machine washable. I hope to never have to machine wash it. I don't plan to, but I have been known to dump entire cups of coffee inside my work bags in the past. So the opportunity to potentially wash it was very exciting to me. The handles are super strong and can easily carry the weight of my laptop. It's just large enough to be able to hold like a giant notebook, and I usually put in a metallic water bottle. This has been a godsend. The other thing I like about this as a work bag is that the message that it conveys is one of practicality, which I think is good for the workplace. I really like the style of this. I like its practical material. I like its useful strength, and I like that they thought about providing a zipper. This is something that I'm now taking with me when I travel as a carry-on. It's a really great bag and I'm super happy with this. At the risk of being negative, I wanted to share 3 bags that did not work out for me, and I wanted to tell you why. The first one that hasn't really worked out for me that well is the small envelope clutch. This is from the brand Brahmin, and I bought this online from Nordstrom without having seen it. And I think one of the things that doesn't really work for me about this is that it's a little too small. I think if I had seen this in person, I don't think I would have purchased it. It can handle an iPhone and maybe some cards, a lipstick, maybe some keys. It's not totally useless, but it's a little small and a little slim, and when I get the things inside of it that I need, I do find that it's bulging a little bit, and I get nervous about it coming undone. So it's just slightly too small, which annoys me a little bit, and that's really my main issue with it. I also was kind of surprised by the overall look of this bag. It's both shiny and kind of aggressively stamped to look like, I think, dragon skin. Maybe this is supposed to be a crocodile, but I'm getting very real dragon vibes from this, and there's something about that that isn't exactly my taste. I don't totally dislike it. I think it's kind of cool, but it isn't exactly my taste, and I just wind up not using this much. But overall, this is not a staple in my collection, and I have like a little bit of regret for buying it. This is a beautiful handmade bag by the artisan brand Sevilla Smith. I bought this at a maker fair and I was vibing with the booth host and I thought this was so beautiful. This is a very kind of rough textured, natural looking stone colored bag. And I thought it was an object of great beauty. If you look, the strap has a slightly contrasting gray tone with these nice brass closures, and it has an adjustable strap. So this was something that I bought a bit on a whim. It was not inexpensive, and I have found that I never ever wear this bag. I never want to wear this bag, and I'll tell you why. One of the main reasons is that because this is so stiff and formed, the way that this is closed, it's kind of tight, it's kind of hard to get into, and the gate into the purse is guarded by these extremely sharp teeth on the zipper. So anytime I put my items into the bag and I go to get them, I find that the zipper teeth kind of scratch at my hand and my wrist, and I hate it. I just hate it. If I end up carrying this bag for a lot of errands and I'm carrying it for a while, which is why I bought it. I thought it was going to be sort of everything that I wanted this bag to be. If I find that I'm carrying this and I'm going in and out of the bag for my wallet and my keys and my sunglasses, my hands get so irritated. I can't tolerate it. The other thing is that these folds here actually, exist inside the bag, which means you can kind of see, things can get lost up in the folds. So it's possible for me to put my items in here and then struggle to find them all the while going up against this very sharp zipper. So that's the reason why this bag hasn't worked out for me. And it's a reason why I ended up going so quickly for this one. I really loved the idea of this soft magnetic opening with like no fuss, no muss, nothing sharp to hurt me. That said, I did go to this maker's website. They're still making really beautiful bags, so definitely check them out. Finally, the biggest fail for me is this tote by All Saints. This is a bag I bought, again, trying to fill the hole that I really wanted to fill with a bag like this. I saw this on the Nordstrom app. I thought I might like this taupe color, and I thought it looked to be about the right size, and I thought the strap would hit me just right. And once you get in here, you can kind of root around in the bag. Here's what I found about this bag. It's very heavy, first off, and it's heavy kind of artificially. It has these heavy metal feet, which, is nice to protect the bag. I do like that. But then this flat panel here is weighted, and the strap is weighted, but the leather itself is very thin and flimsy. This purse winds up being significantly heavier than this purse, and the leather is of far inferior quality. I found over time that this bag just was a bummer for me. Every time I went to go reach for it to grab it because I had to, because it was all I had, I just felt like, ugh, that thing. I didn't want it. I didn't want to carry it. I didn't want to look at it. I regretted buying it. This was like $300 at least. And if you look at it, there's even like this fraying that's happening at the strap here. I mean, it's not a high quality item, and I think it was very overpriced for the quality it offers. I personally feel as though I wasted every penny that I spent on this particular handbag. I don't mean to be so harsh, but I think this bag sort of illustrates what I was saying about the logos, right? So it's All Saints, which is a brand that has some brand cachet, but nowhere near like a Chanel. But they're still trafficking on their brand quality. So for me as a consumer, I'm going out looking for a bag. I'm willing to buy something of quality, but I don't want to overspend. So here comes this bag, All Saints. Okay, that's a brand that I like well enough. $300 leather, tasteful color, tasteful size. Maybe this will wind up being a good value, and it just wasn't. I have found it so incredibly difficult to find bags in a moderate price point that are of a good quality. This All Saints bag was the last one that I purchased before this Wandler bag. I bought this, I think back maybe in 2015, and I was so unhappy with it that I decided that I would not purchase another medium-sized bag until I found the one that I really, really wanted, and I let myself wait. I guess now it's been 6 years before I found this one. And I'm aware that the Wandler bag is a bit more in the luxury sort of price point, like maybe the lower end of the luxury price point. But for me, knowing what I know, knowing how terrible I feel about the money I wasted on this lower quality bag, I knew that for me, that if I took very good care of this over the long haul, this would become a great value and a staple in my wardrobe and something that I really needed. So there you have it, 7 handbags I love and 3 that didn't work out for me. I hope you found this interesting. I would love to hear your thoughts on handbags. I know there are a lot of people out there who just love handbags and collect them. I know there's a whole world of people who love their handbags. I definitely want to hear from you on this. Let me know your thoughts down below. Anyway, I hope that you're all doing well out there, and I hope you have a great week ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Talk soon.